Bosses and business leaders everywhere are saying that their Gen Z hires are lazy, entitled, easily offended snowflakes.
I feel like Facebook sponsored this article.
Every boomer is just like, yes, amen, and women.
Back in my day.
I identify as a boomer.
But overall, Gen Z employees are entitled, easily offended, lazy, and generally unprepared for the workplace, according to their bosses. This assessment of workers born between 1996 and 2010 comes in a poll of about 1,000 business leaders across the country last month. The survey found that 75% of executives felt that most of the recent college grads they hired were unsuccessful, and 60% said that at least some of them had to be fired. The supervisors said they'll refrain from hiring Gen Z workers in the coming year, making the financial situation for the new college grads even worse. With Gen Z, they've got a ton of access to information, different content, news sources, and influences. So when they go into a company that has more traditional norms, you get a situation where it doesn't always mesh.
So they're like, so do I get to make my day in the life videos at this company? And they're like, we're not Google. You don't get to eat.
You don't get eucalyptus towels here.
Or matcha.
You don't get matcha.
Like, go to your desk, do your work. It's literally the meme of the guy walking in while all the girls are doing the stupid TikTok dance. He's just looking at them angrily as they do the TikTok dance, and he sits down to do his job.
Get out.
Yep.
Yeah, leaving for vibes.
Yeah.
Quitting because vibes. You know?
17%
I did like somebody...
of bosses believe Gen Z are too difficult to manage.
I do like the comment that Biden is quiet quitting, which is awesome.
Biden is honorary Gen Z.
He is.
Thank you. Why aren't you dancing?
Dance, monkeys.
Why do you think you're here if not to dance?
You're here to dance.
39% of bosses also said that Gen Z have poor communication skills.
That I believe.
Which is incredibly easy to believe.
Can attest to that.
They
Which is
lack
funny.
charisma and personality.
They have no
No
riz.
riz.
They have
No
no riz.
You heard it here first.
They're not in tune with what it takes to impress others. It's not that they're not in tune with it. They just don't think impressing anyone is important.
Right.
Because they're nihilists.
Right.
Not really. I
Not
think
even
it's
that.
because they have this idea that they have inherent worth that others should recognize, and they shouldn't have to go out of their way
Disgusting.
to go above and beyond and prove
Disgusting.
themselves.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like they shouldn't have to prove their merit or their
was,
worth
like,
in
this
any way. There's like this. Just because I should just be looked at as a hard worker, even though I don't actually work hard.
What does hard work mean anyway? They ask
It's
philosophically.
a relative term.
It's like this
It
time
is.
early on in the show when I was listening to this song about this woman talking about loving herself, and I whined to Mary for about 20 minutes about how disgusting and evil it is to make music about loving yourself.
That's what all pop music is now.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just getting like churned
is.
out and like pumped into the brains of these young people.
Have some self-loathing, like a respectable
Yeah.
person.
Like, at least if that is the attitude you take towards dating, for instance, like that wouldn't affect how you do your job, but you can't treat your boss like he's your boyfriend. You know, like
But you treat it-
he's
but
not
you
going to be there for you on your hard days.
But you treat the president like your dad.
Yeah. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's no sense of decorum.
Yeah, make America goth again. That's what I've been saying. Like, make everyone cry a little bit. You guys should, like, everything's been so, like, happy. And I don't mean happy in a good way. I even think music should be less negative than it is.
Sterile.
But everything is so sterilized. Everything is so, like, it's all so mean-tempered, I guess.
They also cite snowflakeism, where Gen Z is crumbling under pressure. It's almost like you have to walk on eggshells around them, being super sensitive while managing them in case you offend them, upset them, or push them too far. So you have to, as a boss, you have to gentle parent your Gen Z employees.
Pretty much.
Into doing their job.
I've heard that from
God.
people. I've heard that from quite a few people.
And then
actually.
they're just thinking, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
I was just on a plane back from California for like 5 hours, and the person sitting next to me, I'm positive she was Gen Z. She was so anxious the whole time, not even about the flight, just about like sitting there and like,
How could you tell?
you could just tell like the body language.
Yeah.
And she had to go to the bathroom. I could tell because she's looking up, and I'm like, just ask if you can move.
No, it's literally like being too afraid to ask the teacher
Yes.
to go to the
crazy.
bathroom. Like,
Crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. I really struggle to sometimes, and I feel bad because I struggle to understand it. But
especially me, I have zero fear of confronting people or even just
No,
having like.
you're far more disagreeable, and
Yeah.
you're far more prone to confrontation than at least
In
most
fact,
women.
I will say people seek it out with me.
Yes.
I was telling you about this situation I had on a plane recently.
Yes.
Off air. Like, people just want to start shit with me. I don't know what it is, but they look at me and they're like, I'm going to pick a fight with her today. And
Nice.
it doesn't go well for them.
Nope.
Like, I'm not the one. I'm not the one you want to play with. But yeah, on the same note, recently Matt Walsh kind of went viral for a take that he shared on his show about how adults should not take sick days from work. He says you should be embarrassed to take sick days off.
Should we listen to this?
Yeah, let's
side
take a
note.
listen.
On the sick day thing is and you know, this will be unpopular with, especially with younger people, but you shouldn't be using sick days. Okay, I've used sick days maybe twice in 7 years, and in both of those cases, because I lost my voice and I couldn't speak, you know, you can't blame me for that. It's
I mean, he should have been doing the other part. I mean, he's got to do other parts of his job, right? He should be writing out his next episode. He should have gone
There's
into work.
always, you can always
impossible
work.
to
He
do.
can
a
always work. There's something he could have been doing
Yeah.
here.
podcast when you can't speak, and even then, I still, and anyone who watches has been watching the show for a while, you know this. I still came into the office and recorded a video
Literally,
with subtitles.
he gave everyone COVID that day.
Yeah, it's like
when I lost my voice.
Give
if you
everyone COVID to
But generally
own the
speaking-
Gen Zers.
Again, I know this is unpopular, but sick days are for children, okay? They're for kids in
That's the
school who are
most
trying to stay
ridiculous
home
take I've ever
so they don't have to
heard.
take a test that
this guy
day.
have, in my opinion.
Like, with rare exception, taking a sick day as an adult should be pretty embarrassing for you. Calling your boss and saying, sorry, I can't come in today, my tummy hurts, is humiliating. You need to be at work, okay? Adults don't have time to be sick. They don't have time for it. That's.
I mean, there's like a little smirk on his face because he knows
He
everyone's
knows,
gonna be
he
angry.
knows
It's
he's
dry
saying
humor.
is like
conversation with my kids recently, actually, because I was kind of under the weather,
I gave my kids Ebola.
and my
My
kids
bad,
were aware of that.
you know.
And they said, "Well, so why are you going to work?" I said, "Because I don't have time to be sick. Okay, I don't know. I can't.
have time.
I mean, technically, if you have sick days, you literally have time to be sick.
Yeah.
So technically, he's wrong.
it's just like that Rambo movie.
Sorry,
guys.
Matt. You're the
So
logical
wait,
one here.
Serge, you vehemently disagree, obviously. So.
Yeah, I do
But he's
disagree.
What's
obviously
your-
there's dry humor here. I don't
there
believe
has
for a
to be
second
dry
that he
humor.
means
Serge,
this.
give us your rebuttal.
It's like Rambo, and the guy is like, he gets shot. He's like, I don't have time to bleed. It's
Ain't
like
got time to
it's a
bleed.
ridiculous. To me, it's just like, it's like, dude, like, okay, like, come off it, man. Like, there's no way you really believe this, because I guarantee if you had someone in your workplace who was sick, you wouldn't want them coming in and lowering the productivity of your entire workforce because one person was sick and you told them to come to work and made the entire workforce sick. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It's not. It's just one of those things where they feel like he's just trying to
kind of agree with
flex.
Matt.
This was no, it's not even a flex.
You
This
agree
was
with Matt?
designed.
A little bit.
Well, I'm going to go to work no matter what. I'm going to try and go to work, but I'm not. That's what he's trying to say. But the way of saying you should feel bad, take sick, like, okay, sure, but
Yeah.
you know, there's a reason why we have them. They're not just because we're just trying to own they're a Gen Z thing. No, they're not a Gen Z
Only
thing.
Gen Z gets sick. We
This
all know
is
that.
what? Like, I just don't.
Video
I
engagement.
agree with his
bait.
sentiment, but I don't agree with what he's saying. You know?
It's video engagement bait.
Yeah, it is. It's just rage bait.
It's
That's what a
video
lot of
engagement bait, and it's masterfully done.
Yeah, it is.
Because all the responses were like, you know, and he knows he leans into this because if we were to say the same thing, people would say the same thing back. They'd say, "Get a real job."
You're just a podcaster.
Yes.
You don't have a real job.
You just show up every day and turn the camera on and go, right? So
Yeah.
look, whatever. That's fine. Like I'm
Okay.
very blessed to not
Yeah.
have to do like a blue collar job. I don't have to work with my hands every day. But the thing is you have to have a lot of respect for people who do that. But on the other hand, if you want to engagement bait on Twitter, what you do is you make this clip and then you post it, and you fell right into his trap, which is why he's the one who's got the podcast.
But in practice, what this looks like is Brett giving me strep throat.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like
Literally.
I have to disagree with Matt here.
Yeah.
I was very
because I
cute.
literally come to work sick. Yes.
Bro literally gave me strep, and he was like, maybe it was something else.
I think I'm just a boomer when it comes to work.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should go to work.
But you
if
can work
can.
from home too.
Yeah, there's other
as
stuff
a
you can
writer.
do. You don't have to go to a workplace to get everyone else sick and be like, well, I'm really a tough man to get everyone sick. Like,
Maybe you guys should work on your immune system.
Here's something
Did you ever
even
think about
worse,
that?
though. Okay, Florence
Yeah.
Pugh. Florence Pugh is one of the most famous Gen Z actresses in Hollywood.
Haven't
And
heard of her.
recently, she talked about how she's taking an acting break. And her reason for that is not health issues or anything like that. It's because she wants to reestablish her work-life balance. She was too worried that she was focused on work, not enough focusing on enjoying her life.
Well, that's what you call a champagne take. Somebody who's got the money to be able to do that, right?
Yeah, she calls herself a work maniac, saying she feels absolutely exhausted. But now she wants to have a long-term career and is taking a hiatus to focus on just living her life.
It's funny because it's easy to dunk on them, but I would never want the career path that they've chose because you live a life of consistent uncertainty. Like you don't know when the next role is going to come.
That goes for the smaller time actors. I think Florence Pugh has enough money where she's just like resting on her laurels.
I know, but I'm just saying, like the average actor doesn't have the ability to do that. They have to take every opportunity they can, lest one doesn't come. You know, you're off TV for if you're not in like a major production, you're not like an actor that's on one of these big budget Hollywood network shows. If you're the star of the show, you've got job security, at least up until the show gets canceled. If you're an actor who's known for being a guest star, you have to consistently get spots lest you be out of the public eye for an extended period of time and you don't get any work.
But at the same time, like, I remember Sydney Sweeney saying something similar, like, oh, like this is so hard because I'm 26 and I can never stop working because it's so hard to afford to live out here in my mansion in Calabasas.
Yeah, right.
Like, bro, you didn't need to buy a mansion in Calabasas to be a working actor in LA. Like, that's not what's happening for the majority of your competitors. And to say that you have to continue working, that's literally just people's this is everyone's life. Like you have to continue working until you retire in old age. That's life.
Nerdy Film Girl in the chat says, I mean, she did a lot and does choose more serious pieces that are emotionally draining. Look, I get it, and I tell Mary this all the time. I said I don't underestimate or undervalue how much actual work goes into being an actor, because until you actually try to do it, you don't realize how hard it is, right? Like you don't notice it when it's good, but you certainly notice it when it's bad acting. And that might be true that you choose a role that's emotionally draining to you because it requires a lot. But the problem is that putting that sentiment out there to the general public who has to wake up every day to go to some job that they consider to be soul-sucking, they're not going to have any sympathy for you. They're just not. That doesn't make it right, but they're not going to. They're just never going to.
Yeah, well said.
So it's and to be fair, she's probably not phrasing this expecting sympathy from the public.
Well,
in any way, shape, or form.
Florence Pugh phrases nothing.
You know what we need to do?
Sympathy.
You know what we need to do? We need to have Matt Walsh talk to her.
Yeah, like they need to have a discussion.
If we can just get Matt Walsh to give her a call and be like, look,
grow up.
It's time to get back to work.
You better work, bitch.
You're an adult. It's time to work. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.